Twitter's mercurial new boss may be out the door after less than 2 months on the job, if results of a Twitter poll go against him. Elon Musk tweeted a poll Sunday evening asking people to vote on whether he should step down as Twitter's CEO. Musk said he would abide by the poll's results. As of Sunday evening, yes was winning by a margin of 58% to 42%. In several follow-up tweets, Musk suggested that he was serious about leaving and made a vague threat about Twitter's future if he is voted out. Since buying Twitter for $44 billion and taking over as CEO in late October, Musk has journeyed from one controversy to the next. Musk had once tweeted that allowing the Elon Jet account to remain on Twitter demonstrated his commitment to free speech on the platform. Meanwhile, brands have been removing their advertising from Twitter left and right. Musk has frequently stated that Twitter's finances are dire. Replying to a tweet Sunday, in which MIT artificial intelligence researcher Lex Fridman said he would take the CEO job, Musk hinted he hasn't been completely happy with his new gig. "You must like pain a lot," Musk tweeted, noting the company has been in the fast lane to bankruptcy since May. Yet Musk denied that he has a new CEO in mind. "No one wants the job who can actually keep Twitter alive. There is no successor," Musk tweeted. "The question is not finding a CEO, the question is finding a CEO who can keep Twitter alive."
Ukraine watchful of borders as Putin heads to Belarus. Officials in Kyiv have warned for months that neighboring Belarus could join Russian forces and serve again as a launching pad for a new attack to form a second front in the months-long war. "Protecting our border, both with Russia and Belarus, is our constant priority," Zelensky said after a meeting on Sunday of Ukraine's top military command. "We are preparing for all possible defense scenarios." Putin heads to Belarus on Monday for his first visit in 3.5 years, with the Kremlin describing it as a broad, working visit with Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko. Lukashenko has said repeatedly he has no intention of sending his country's troops into Ukraine. Whatever Lukashenko might be persuaded to do for Russia, this will not help them, just like all the other sick ideas in this war against Ukraine and Ukrainians, Zelensky said. Russian troops that were moved to Belarus in October will conduct battalion tactical exercises, the Russian Interfax news agency reported, citing the Russian Defense Ministry. It was not immediately clear when and where in Belarus the exercises will be conducted. Kyiv and surrounding areas came under attack again early on Monday, with the Ukrainian capital's military administration saying 9 Iranian-made Shahed drones were shot down in Kyiv's airspace. Air defense systems are at work in the region, Oleksiy Kuliba, governor of the Kyiv region, said on Telegram. "Stay in shelters and safe places until the alarm is over. Take care of yourself and loved ones." Several loud blasts were heard, but it was not immediately clear whether they were air defense systems destroying the drones or drones hitting their targets. Zelensky on Sunday again called for Western nations to beef up Ukraine's air defenses after weeks of Russian airstrikes targeted the country's energy network as a freezing winter settles in. Zelensky said power had been restored to 3 million more Ukrainians in the past 24 hours following a massive missile attack on electricity infrastructure on Friday that killed 3 people and damaged 9 power facilities. Electricity supplies have been restored to a further 3 million Ukrainians, he said. Plus 6 million yesterday. That means after the terrorist strikes on Friday, we have results already for 9 million of our people. The conflict has killed tens of thousands of people and driven millions from their homes. The battlefield in Bakhmut is critical, he said. We control the town even though the occupiers are doing everything so that no undamaged wall will remain standing. Denis Pushilin, Russian-installed administrator of the portion of the Donetsk region controlled by Moscow, said that Ukrainian forces shelled a hospital in the Donetsk city, killing one person and injuring several others. Reuters could not independently verify the battlefield accounts. Kissinger calls for negotiation. Putin casts what he calls Russia's special military operation as a watershed moment when Moscow finally stood up to a Western bloc, led by the United States, seeking to capitalize on the 1991 fall of the Soviet Union by destroying Russia. Kyiv and the West say Putin has no justification for what they have decried as an imperial-style war of occupation that has resulted in Russia now controlling around a fifth of Ukraine. Henry Kissinger, an architect of the Cold War policy of détente towards the Soviet Union as Secretary of State in the 1970s, said the time was approaching for a negotiated peace. The time is approaching to build on the strategic changes which have already been accomplished and to integrate them into a new structure towards achieving peace through negotiation, Kissinger wrote in The Spectator magazine. Ukraine rejected the proposal, saying it amounted to appeasing the aggressor by sacrificing parts of Ukraine. All supporters of simple solutions should remember the obvious. Any agreement with the devil, a bad peace at the expense of Ukrainian territories, will be a victory for Putin and a recipe for success for autocrats around the world, Ukrainian presidential aide Mikhailo Podolyak said on Telegram. Kremlin officials were not available for comment late on Sunday.
Elon Musk says Twitter will ban some links to other social media sites, sparking backlash. Twitter said Sunday it would ban links to other social media services and suspend accounts that try to direct users to alternative platforms in an apparent attempt to stem user defections to competitors. But Twitter CEO Elon Musk later relented, loosening the policy and causing widespread confusion about what kind of linking was allowed and disallowed on the platform. Under the new policy stated Sunday afternoon, links to content on Facebook and Instagram would be prohibited, as well as links to content on emerging Twitter alternatives, including Mastodon and Post. The rule also covers Truth Social, the Twitter clone backed by former President Donald Trump. Twitter's move signals a shift toward a more closed environment, one that still accepts incoming traffic from other sites but makes it more difficult for users to leave Twitter's website for other destinations. Specifically, we will remove accounts created solely for the purpose of promoting other social platforms and content that contains links or usernames for the following platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Mastodon, Truth Social, Tribel, Nostr and Post, Twitter support account tweeted. Despite the bans, Twitter said the new policy will still allow paid advertisement/promotion for any of the prohibited social media platforms. Hours after the policy's rollout, Musk appeared to relent under criticism by other users and agreed to loosen the rules. In an exchange involving Box CEO Aaron Levy, who called the new policy sad, Musk agreed it was reasonable that some might want to link to their Instagram profiles to promote their own businesses. Policy will be adjusted to suspending accounts only when that account's primary purpose is promotion of competitors, which essentially falls under the no spam rule, Musk tweeted. Then, amid the continuing backlash, Musk opened a Twitter poll asking whether he should step down as head of Twitter. "I will abide by the results of this poll," Musk wrote. As of early Sunday evening, Yes was winning by a margin of 58% to 42%. Notably absent from the list of Twitter's banned social media platforms was TikTok, one of the internet's fastest-growing social media platforms whose links to China have sparked national security concerns among U.S. policymakers. Musk's own significant stake in China through his other company, Tesla, have raised doubts among critics as to whether the CEO would stand up to China if the country's leaders sought to apply pressure on Twitter. Twitter's abrupt policy change Sunday afternoon prompted confusion from the platform's former CEO, Jack Dorsey, who replied, "Why?" Dorsey followed up with, "Doesn't make sense." The policy change came after some Twitter users announced their intention to move to other platforms last week, in the wake of Twitter's suspension of a number of journalists who cover Musk. Amid the backlash to the journalists' suspensions, Twitter quietly began blocking links to Mastodon. Sunday's initial announcement appeared to formalize that ban to become official Twitter policy, a move that could further raise eyebrows among Twitter's regulators. As part of Twitter's new policy, the company said users may not link out to social media platforms subject to the restrictions. Users were also prohibited from updating their Twitter profiles to include their account names on other platforms, a way to inform followers where they might be found elsewhere on social media. For example, posting encouragement to follow me at username on Instagram or username at mastodon.social is restricted, Twitter said in a blog post. Attempts to circumvent that policy will also be enforced against, the company said. For example, use of link shortening services to obscure the true destination of a URL or attempts to spell out a URL in plain text will also run afoul of Twitter's rules, the company said. If violations of this policy are included in your bio and/or account name, we will temporarily suspend your account and require changes to your profile to no longer be in violation, the blog post said. Subsequent violations may result in permanent suspension. First offenses or isolated incidents may result in temporary suspensions or requirements that users delete the violating content, Twitter said. It's unclear how or if the policy will be implemented after Musk's apparent decision to loosen the restrictions Sunday evening. Users may continue to use third-party software to simultaneously publish their social media content to multiple sites, including Twitter, the company said. Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, as well as Truth Social's parent Trump Media and Technology Group, didn't immediately respond to a request for comment.